Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Ashley and I'm so happy that you are here. Today I'm going to be testing out the Covergirl Trublend Liquid Makeup Foundation as well as the Covergirl Trublend Undercover Concealers today in this video, as well as show you just the rest of my makeup on my face. I hope you stick around to the end just to see the look that I came up with. I'm just going to give a heads up right now. My son is taking a nap during this video. Right now he's asleep. He finally fell asleep, but in the video you might hear some crying. So I'm just gonna put that out there right now, but he's finally asleep. Hallelujah. So anyways, if you want to see how I got this look as well as my honest opinion about the foundation and the concealers, then just keep watching. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and jump right into the video. And as always, I'm going to be starting with my eyes, so I'm going to prime them with the Covergirl Trublend Undercover Concealer. But this is the shade L200 Light Ivory. This is what I'll use as my primer as well as my highlighting shade. Now, this shade I actually have tried. This is what I brought to Hawaii with me. So I have used this before. I do like it as a primer. It's really good. It's probably one of my favorite concealers so far, and I really like it as a highlighting shade and a highlighting concealer. So far I really like this concealer just because it doesn't crease and it is full coverage, so it will cover the dark circles. I just don't know how it covers on blemishes, so I did get a darker shade to test that out today. I also got a new foundation that we're gonna test. I'm going to review them. So for the eyeshadow palette today, I'm going to be using the Nubian by Juvias palette. I hope I said that right. I picked this up at Ulta. It was in their little travel section. This was $10 and it comes with these 6 shades. It comes with 6 shimmery shades and it comes with 3 shimmery shades and 3 matte shades. This is a really pretty palette. It's not super pigmented in my opinion, but it is really pretty and it does the trick. I wish it did have a mirror though. That's like the only downside with certain palettes. But this is a travel size, so it doesn't surprise me. So I'm going to be using my big mirror in my Milani Soft and Sultry palette. But I'm going to be taking this middle shade on the bottom row. They don't have names, so I'm just going to be taking that and putting it in my crease. Next I'm going to be taking an angled eyeshadow brush and I'm going to be dipping into the darkest matte shade, and this is going to go in my outer corner just to give it some definition. Next I'm going to be taking this brush and I'm going to go back into that darker shade just to darken it a little bit because it's not super pigmented when I used that brush. So I'm just going to be putting it just in the outer part of my crease. Next I'm going to be taking my e.l.f. Fluffy Eye Blender brush and I'm just going to buff all of this in, make sure it's blended. And then I'm going to be taking my ring finger and I'm going to be dipping into this really pretty shimmery pink shade. And this is just going to go all over my lid. So for mascara, I'm going to be using the CoverGirl Lash Blast Volume in Blackest Black, or Very Black. Very Black. So I just apply several coats of mascara. Mascara is like the one thing that I always need to have on before I leave the house. Some people it's brows, for me it's my mascara. Like I don't know, just makes me feel put together without actually being put together. Alright, so mascara's done. Now we're going to move on to the face. For a primer, I'm going to be using the Tarte Base Tape. It's a hydrating primer. I used this in my last video when I tried a bunch of new products. And I really like this. This is what I took with me on my trip. And I really liked it. It really made my skin feel hydrated and moisturized. Alright, so for foundation today, we are going to be trying a new foundation. It's the Covergirl Trublend Liquid Makeup. Super excited. I'm nervous about the shade. I got L1, which was Ivory. I've noticed that if I used to always get like porcelain, but it just makes me look super white. So I'm hoping that this matches very well. The one reason I love trying new foundations is because I like to see what they're like, whether they're going to be full coverage or if they claim to be full coverage. I like to test that out because I do have acne prone skin, and so it's nice to find foundations that actually work with acne prone skin so that I don't feel like I have to cover up a ton or use a ton of makeup, because then to me sometimes it just feels heavy on my face and feels cakey. And we don't want that. So it's in a little squeezy tube. I like these kind. And I like it because it's a lock. You just twist it so it'll lock. That should match, hopefully. I'm going to do 2 pumps. And then I'm just going to dot on my face. Okay, so far with it being on my face and just dotting it, it's not it doesn't feel heavy at all. It feels really light, which I like. I don't like heavy foundations. They're not my most favorite. So I'm going to be taking a brush. I'm just going to put just a little bit from what's on my hand. I like to pat it in and buff it in. Okay, well, just with doing this side, I would not call it full coverage. Some of my redness is poking through. But like I said, it is really light. It's a light foundation. It's not heavy. Honestly, the consistency, in my opinion, it's obviously, I don't think it's as light as it, but it kind of reminds me of a BB cream. But like with more coverage, obviously, than what a BB cream has. The coverage isn't terrible. It's just, in my opinion, it's not full coverage on me. I am going to see if I can build it up and do like a couple more pumps and just kind of put it over my trouble areas and just see if it can be built. I'm just going to take another pump because I want to see if I can build it up at all. Okay, so with adding more, it definitely did a better job. Like you can still see some of my spots. It did pretty good with hiding the one on my lip, but you can still tell that I have some acne. So I'm just going to take my damp sponge and just kind of go over this just to make sure that there's no brush strokes. And then we are going to go in with concealer and conceal everything that needs to be concealed. For the shade that I picked to conceal, I just picked the L400, which is Classic Ivory. It's just a couple shades darker than the L200. I always like to do a little darker of a concealer than my foundation, or somewhere close to my foundation, just so that I know that it'll actually like cover up. I honestly probably could have done a darker, maybe a shade darker with the concealer. And so I'm just going to take my buffing brush again and I'm just going to dab it into my skin. Yeah, this concealer is just a little too light for what I'm wanting. If I was just to wear concealer and no foundation, then this would probably definitely work. This would probably be closer to my skin tone than the foundation is. I think the foundation is a little darker than what my skin is, but I'm really liking the coverage of the concealer. I just need to get a little darker shade than what I picked up. Because even though it is concealing it, it's also highlighting it, just because it's not as dark as I would want it to cover up my blemishes. But again, like I said, it did cover them very well. Obviously you can still see that I have the texture and the bumps. That's not gonna go away. But as far as redness, it's gone. I would definitely say that the concealer is full coverage. I really like it. So that's definitely a win in my book. I just need to get a shade, probably one shade darker. I'm gonna go back in with the L200 to highlight under my eyes. I'm just gonna do 3 dots and do 2 down the nose. So next I'm going to jump into my Maybelline Fit Me powder to conceal under my eyes, and then I'm gonna apply it all over my face to set the foundation and the concealer. The one thing so far that I really love about the concealer, especially putting it under my eyes, is my eyes have not creased. And sometimes when I put on a certain concealer, it creases right away. So I'm super, super impressed with that aspect of this concealer. And like I said, it did cover up my acne pretty well. Obviously, my texture is gonna show, but you can't really hide texture. The foundation's probably not my favorite. It feels good on my skin, that I will give it. Doesn't have high coverage at all. I'd say it's medium coverage. I would say it's a good everyday foundation. If you are one that needs to wear foundation every day or wants to wear foundation every day, I would say it's a good foundation because it isn't thick. It's really, really lightweight on the skin, which is awesome. Not something I'm going to use every single day. I'm still on the hunt for a full coverage foundation from the drugstore, so I am going to be trying some more drugstore foundations to see what will cover up my acne. For contouring, I don't normally contour. I like to just bronze up my face, but I am going to be using the Wet n Wild Megaglow contouring palette. This is in the shade Dolce de Leche. I've had this for a while. This is probably one of my favorite bronzing highlighting palettes from Wet n Wild. I think they have a couple other shades, but I'm just gonna dust this all over my cheekbones and on my forehead, but I don't usually contour like at all. So for blush, I'm going to be using the Milani blush in Lumineso. This is one of their baked powder blushes. It's super, super pretty. It's definitely one of my favorite blush shades. I'm not much of a pink girl, like a pink blush girl, so this is more of like a peachy tone. So I really like it. For highlight, I'm going to be taking my e.l.f. highlight in Moonlight Pearls. This is a really good highlight from the drugstore that's very inexpensive. One of my favorite things about doing makeup is highlighting. This would not be my go-to highlighter just because, in my opinion, it's not super pigmented. But it definitely gets the job done. If you're looking for a really good inexpensive highlighter that is pigmented, I suggest the Revolution highlighters. You can find them at Ulta. So good. I think they're like their baked highlighters, and that was like the first highlighter I ever tried, and it's one of my favorites ever that would be considered drugstore because I think it's like $5 and it's big. It's bigger than this. And it's bigger than this. It's like, I would say it's close to this size. So you get like that much product. I really like it. It's definitely affordable and one of my favorite products. For brows, I'm going to be doing them off camera just because my brows take forever to do and I don't do anything special. I started using a new product. My mom actually gave this to me. It's from the brand Salon Perfect. Done in One Brow Pomade. It looks like this. It kind of looks like eyeliner, and it's kind of the consistency of like a gel eyeliner in my opinion, but I really like it. I feel like it does my brows good and I really like it. If you would like a separate brow tutorial of how I trim my brows, shape them, and fill them in, let me know. But until or if I do a video, I'm just gonna be doing them off camera just because it takes me a while to do them. Alright, so I have my brows on, and now I'm going to set my whole face with the Ulta Beauty Dewy Makeup Setting Spray. I'm almost out of it, and I'm so sad because I really, really like this setting spray. And it smells really good. It feels really refreshing on my face. It's one of my favorites for sure. So now that my face is set, I'm going to just apply the NYX ButterGloss in Tiramisu. It's a really pretty pink shade. Alright, so this is the finished makeup look. Like I said, I love the concealers. Concealers are probably my new favorite concealers that I will definitely be repurchasing. The foundation I probably will not repurchase. I'm definitely going to use it and finish it, but it's not my favorite. It is a good everyday foundation if you are looking for a foundation. It's not full coverage in my opinion. I do think it's buildable, which is always a plus. But I am going to still be on the lookout for a full coverage drugstore foundation that I love. If you guys liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye!